This is a tutorial of how to string a lacrosse stick. This is the Warrior Evo Pro 2, and yeah, let's get started. So basically, what you first need is just mesh. Basically, this is ultra mesh. I got it called, so you can get it for like $12. That's where I got it from. Like I got it from Westwood Sports. You can get it like I don't know who your provider is, but here's the basic mesh. What you can do is usually it's folded over like this when you get it. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna open it up, stretch it out as much as you can, grab it, and pull. Like so. You're gonna get it stretched out as much as you can. Alright. And once you have it stretched out, like it's automatically gonna well, okay. So you're gonna look at which one's the hard side. There's a hard side and a soft side of the mesh. Right here, this is the harder side, so this is gonna go in. This is gonna face towards the front of your head, and then this is gonna be the back, which should be the back of the head. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this. You're gonna count. Try to count 10. You're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or here. And once you get 10, you're gonna fold it over, just like so. Alright. There's 10 holes across the top. So basically what you're going to need is you need some laces and some nylons. I counted this, or I measured it, and it was the shooting laces are 32 inches. The top nylon is 26 and a half inches. Your sides are 16 inches, and the string for the bottom is 14. Alright, let's get started. So what you can do is you're going to take your top nylon, 26 inches. You're just going to make a little loop at the end, like so. Pull it tight, so that knot's going to come undone. Just a simple knot, nothing's big. Alright, so what you're going to do now is you can take your stick, like so, and here it is. Alright, so you're gonna take your head. This was folded over. You can put it through here. You're gonna go through the very top hole. You're gonna put your nylon string through the very top hole. Pull it through. And go to the bottom hole, the top hole of your mesh. The first one, like so. You can pull it through. Oh, great. I messed up there. You can take this, go through the first hole, pull it through. You're not going to pull this tight because you're going to go through the same hole. The same one as the first one. Like so. And then you're going to pull it tight. Like so. Make sure everything's tight. You want everything tight. You're going to take. I hope this isn't too slow or too fast. I'm just trying to pace it so people can just follow along. So now you're going to go through the second hole, or actually no, what you're going to do is you're going to take your nylon, after you went through that, you're going to come through the top of the hole, through the top hole, the first hole in your head. If you can see that, go through this hole right here. Go through this first hole, pull it through, but not all the way. Like have a little slack, make a loop like this, make a loop like so. And now you're gonna go through the second hole in your mesh. You're gonna come through the front of the mesh, right here, the second hole. And you're gonna pull it through the loop you just made. And pull it tight. Alright. And you're gonna make sure, like, when you're doing this, you're gonna want to put your mesh, like, direct it towards the front of the head to, like, push it forward. So, yeah. Now, you're gonna take your string and go through the back of the mesh. This is not the same hole. This is the third hole. So, you came in through the front of the second. Now you're going out through the back of the third. So, the third hole, hold the loop. Should make this loop. Go through the same hole on the head. The same hole through the front of the head. Pull it through. You can go through like so, and pull it through the loop. Pull tight. You want to make sure everything's tight on your head, because the top is really vital. You need that tight. Otherwise, you're gonna have your ball getting caught, hitting the top of your head, and it's really gonna make you mad. Alright, so you can do the same thing. You can go through the next hole on the top of the head. Alright, through the back of the head. Now you're going through the front of the mesh again, but this is gonna be the next hole. So this would be the fourth hole in the front of the mesh. You're gonna go through there, have the loop, pull it through, pull it tight. Alright. Now you're gonna go through the next hole, so the fifth hole in the mesh. Go through the back. You came through the front, you go out through the back. Then go through the front of the head again and pull it tight. Like so. It should look like that. You can see. Alright. Now you're gonna go through and do the same thing. Back of the head first. Front of the mesh, the next hole. You never go through the same hole twice in the mesh. You go through twice at the head, but not the mesh. Make that loop, pull it through. Basically, yeah, if you're going too fast or too slow, you can either stop, pause, rewind, fast forward, whatever. Yep. Then you're gonna go through the next hole in the back, to the front of the head, pull tight. Next hole in the mesh, or actually through the top of the head, back at the front of the mesh, pull tight. Through the back of the mesh, front of the head, pull tight, like so. Once you got to the last one, you should have one extra hole out. So you're gonna go through the back of the mesh, pull it through. Now you're gonna go through the top of the sidewall, the very top hole. So that would be right here. You know, through the inside, come through the inside. Now you're gonna go through that same hole again, through the back of the mesh again. So you're gonna make a little loop, and you're gonna go through the same hole, through the head, and you're gonna pull it tight. So it should look like that. You're gonna go through the same thing twice. You just want a really stretched out top. Let's see. After you do that, you're gonna make your knot. Make sure everything's tight. Try to make the knot as close as you can so you don't lose slack. And pull it through. Alright. So now you got the basic part on top of the head. That was easy. Alright. Now you're gonna take your 16-inch side, make a little loop or a little knot at the end, so obviously you kind of need that to stop it from going through the sidewall. All right. So you're not gonna So you're not gonna go through the second hole. You're gonna go through the third hole. So you're gonna skip one hole and go the next. All right. You're gonna come from the outside. From the outside. Pull it through. So this should be the third hole. Oh well. Wrong one. I would put it through the fourth. You're gonna come through the third hole on the outside, like so. Now you're gonna go through the next piece of mesh down. So you were up here. Now you're going this one, not this one. All right. You're gonna go through this one, not this. So you're gonna go through the bottom. You're coming from the front of the mesh. Under. You're gonna pull it. And now you're gonna skip one hole down. So you're gonna come. You always come from the outside. So you come from the bottom of the mesh. Now you come from the outside of the head. You skip one hole. You go through. You pull it. Remember, you want everything tight. Except right here, though, you're gonna leave it loose. You're gonna leave this loose. But you're gonna go through the same hole, the same one you went from the first one. This is the only time you do this. You do this twice. Come from the back of the mesh, or the front of the mesh. Pull it through, and when you pull it through, you go through the loop you just made. So again, you're gonna go through the bottom, front of the mesh. Then come outside of the head. Leave this loop. Go in through the same hole you went in through the front. Now through the loop you just made. And you want to pull everything super tight. Alright, super tight. Alright. So then you're not done. You're not going to skip another hole. But this, you go through the next hole. You go through the front of the mesh, through the next hole down. To the next one. That. Pull that tight. Then you're going to skip another hole. So you're always going to be skipping a hole when you go down the side of the head. So you're going to skip the hole. Or I mean, it all depends on the head, but for mine I'm going to skip because they're too close. Tons of stringing options, but it's what I do. So you're going to go through, come from under, again, you come from under, and then you skip a hole, you go down. You go through, you come in from the outside, and then you leave this loop, and then you're going to come through the loop. Before you went through the loop after you put it through. This time, that's only for the first time. Now you're going to go through the loop before you go through the mesh. So you can pull that tight. Now you're going to go through, you're going to come from under the mesh, so you're going to go through the front of the next hole. You never go through the same hole again. So this is the fourth hole down. Fourth hole down from the top. Gonna go through the bottom, through the front of the mesh. Right? Come through the front. And now, instead of going through the front again, now you're gonna go through the back. So through the front, and then through the back of the next hole. Alright? You're never going through the same hole. So this is the next one. And now you're gonna go skip a hole down on the sidewall and go through the next hole. So put it through, pull it tight, super tight. Alright. Oh yeah, but before you pull it super tight, you obviously gotta make that loop. Like I made that mistake. You make a loop, put it through the loop, and then pull it tight. Alright. So the first one you went through the front twice, then you went through the front and then the back, and now for the rest of the head you're just gonna go through the back. So you're gonna go through the back of the head again, back of the head of the next hole. You're gonna loop it around and then go through the